Well, this is actually take two. I just erased the video that I just finished by mistake. That was one of my more brilliant moves for a Sunday afternoon. Um, I was talking about that I can't, we can't get rid of this guy. He's always in the background. Now he's talking to the conservatives, and there's these I don't know whether it's the QAnon that believe it or somebody, or that the whole group of Trump people believe that somehow or another he's going to be installed as president on March the 4th because the last legitimate president was Grant. I don't understand all of that conversation there, but I can tell you it's not going to, not going to happen. I've heard that they're scared because there's rumors going around that there's going to be a military-style operation against the government on, I don't know, the date hasn't been released yet when he does the State of the Union message. They claim that's the reason for the extra police and National Guardsmen staying in Washington. And the scary thing is they're starting to find a lot of white supremacists and sympathizers in the military, which they're finding them. It doesn't really surprise me. They've been there for years. I mean, if you can see it. When I was in the National Guard and I was down at Fort Dix, they had units coming back from Vietnam. A lot of them were black and whatnot. These guys carried guns, not military-issue guns, 38s, all kinds of revolvers, pistols, and things like that, because they were more afraid of the white guys than they were the Viet Cong. Da Nang was a pretty nasty place to hang out, apparently. I mean, there was a lot of... in battle was one thing, and when you weren't fighting, it was another thing. It was a racist war. Very surprised about it, and I saw it with some of the guys I was with. They were from Newark, the white guys, and they weren't liked by the black people, the black soldiers that came back from Nam. They weren't liked by the black soldiers that came from other parts of Jersey. This was just, they didn't like them either, so, it was kind of, it was a little rough at times, but Mom taught me well. I get along with everybody, race doesn't mean anything to me. I have a tendency to be more friendly with, I had a tendency back then to be more friendly with the blacks and the whites. Down here I don't have that problem because everybody's of a color, so everybody's skin is somewhat brown, just different shades of it, so it doesn't bother me that much, I stand out because I'm very white, and I stand out, and everybody knows, hey, you're a gringo, I say, okay, big deal, their big interest is, how do I like Colombia, and I tell them. But getting back to the point, of talking about, what's Trump going to do, and they say he's the 2024 candidate, and that Mitch McConnell's going to support him and all this and everything. And then I forgot the guy's name. It was either Joel Friedman or Connors, somebody like that was talking this morning on CNN, and they made an interesting point about this. With these, so long as people are going in this direction in the Republican Party, and what they're saying is that they can't get anything done, and they didn't get anything done. When you look back at it, they passed a tax relief bill, they called it, which was all big business. It didn't affect the little guy that much at all. But he could have done so many things about the infrastructure of this country and everything else, and he didn't. He didn't come in with a plan. He didn't leave with, regrets because he didn't do this or he didn't do that because, he didn't do it. I mean, he didn't do anything to help stop the spread of the virus. I think he felt it was a good thing until he realized that, what they were doing with the election was going to prevent him from winning. Then he was all upset about it, but he couldn't do anything about it by then. He's not a good man. The people that work for him aren't good people. They're delusional. I don't understand his son's going around the country talking about that the election was stolen. What are you trying to do? You trying to start a rebellion? There are other ways to start a rebellion. I'm not sure that's the best way to go about it. To bring down a government that's been there as long as ours has been around, and you wouldn't be where you are if it wasn't for this government. Do you think that once you begin something along the lines of military intervention or something in the government, do you think those guys are going to stand there and let some clown like you tell them what to do? You know, I don't know, man. My big worry with the military and whatnot is that, you know, when Trump was there, is that he would start a war, and I don't really want somebody like him in control of the military. You know, if I have grandkids, you know, I don't have I have great nephews. I don't want him, anybody, Republican or Democrat, that's that crazy, in control of the military. You know, I mean, it's like, I watched this one woman talking about, you know, the military is going to come in and take over and everything, and I'm sitting there saying to her, and she says, yeah, I want that, and I'm saying, do you want that when the troops come in and your son dies and gets shot down in the street for being there at the wrong place at the wrong time? Are you going to feel good about that? I mean, because you're not going to have the ability to sue or to get justice if you know, you're in the middle of a military coup. If the military takes over, that all those laws go out the books. You're done. You know, the kid's dead. Too bad. Bury him. Get on with your life. You know. I don't want those people telling me, you know, sending my children to die. You know. I don't want to see a civil war. I mean, I read about it. I've read stories about it, accounts about it, brother killing brother. I don't want to see that. You know, me and my brothers we acted like we didn't get along, but we got along. And I loved them, you know, I loved my brother to pieces. You know, I still miss him. So, you know, I don't want to see something destroy families like that, but I don't understand, you know, what they're trying to do. It looks like that's what they're trying to do. They want to destroy everything, you know. They want to create this massive chaos. And from there, they believe that they can succeed in controlling the government and getting through the government, you know. There were other interesting articles about Trump this week, stating that the only reason he wanted to become president of the United States is that he could influence the Supreme Court and the justice system to, first of all, get some laws changed that he wanted out, and that he would be able to go, if any of his cases went before the Supreme Court, he would have the judges there that would, you know, back him up on it, you know, and the immunity that goes along, not true immunity, but they sort of leave him alone, an elected president, you know, while he's in office. You know, but he said he's liable for everything he did in office now in civilian court. You know, I don't know all the laws like that. You know, I don't never had a reason to really study all that stuff. But every time a specific incident comes up, I look it up. You know, and I find out, oh wow, look at this. You know, he can get charged. You know, I don't think that, you know, they'll ever arrest him, because I think that would be. I think you would see an uprising of his faithful. You know, I think you would see 10 or 20,000 or more people try to set him free. You know, it's a scary thought. I mean, you know, I don't know why they would do that, because he's a criminal. You know, but I studied psychology and sociology in college, amongst other things, and like girls, sex, stuff like that, beer. But anyhow, the thing always amazed me is that we don't know anything about the human mind. You know, I don't care if you've been studying it for 25 or 30 years. You don't know anything about it. We use 10% of our brain power. I've seen examples of what the brain can do when somebody really pushes it. I don't know how much of the brain power was used, you know, but I've seen how they can make their body do things. They can heal their body to a certain degree. Um, I see trade-offs too. I see trade-offs when they do something like that. Speech or something else goes a little haywire. Um, but the mind is a powerful thing. But I sit around and how does somebody get to think the way Donald Trump thinks? Where did that come from? Is that something that's a question of heredity or environment? Genes or environment? What brought him to this point where he is in his life? I don't know. I say it's a little bit of both. I think he's a little, I think he's a little off center, and I think a lot of it's environment. He was spoiled beyond belief. And that's just an example of what happens when you spoil somebody. Anyhow, I could go on meandering and mumbling about this, but I have to save some for tomorrow night. Remember, I go live every Monday night at 7 p.m. on YouTube. Just type in Antonia and Fats Live and you'll find me someplace, okay? In the meantime, have a good day and I'll talk to you soon.